Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be testing Dead by Daylight on the GeForce GT 1030. For FPS monitoring, this time I won't be using cam due to Easy Anti-Cheat, which is the anti-cheat software this game uses, so in the meantime I'll be using MSI Afterburner. And if you want to support me, there are Humble and Amazon affiliate links down in the description. So Dead by Daylight, I'll be doing 1080p, 900p, 720p and 1440p. To skip down at those sections of the video, check the description below. So well, first of all, I'll show you 1080p trying to get 60 frames per second, and in order to do so, I'll lower everything to the minimum. Since this options menu is not extensive at all, I will only lower the quality option to low. We have low, medium, high and ultra, and well, at low settings I was pretty much between 50 and 60 frames per second pretty much all the time, but also keep in mind on 1080p and 1440p I did some overclocking to the GT 1030. You can check the current memory clocks down in the description. On 900p and 720p the overclock is disabled, so we're on stock frequencies, nothing else. And then on 1080p I crank up the settings to medium, because if I try ultra or high I get drops below 30 frames per second pretty much all the time. High and ultra don't have much of a performance difference at all. It's like 2 or 3 frames per second difference. So I had to just use medium on 1080p. Anything over that was just below 30 frames per second. And in order to change the game's resolution, you'll have to go into the desktop. You just do right click there, display settings, and just select the resolution you want. So your desktop resolution on Windows will be the resolution used in-game. Then on 900p, in order to get 50 to 60 frames per second, I use medium settings, and that was enough to do just that. Then I just crank up the settings to ultra, and I get pretty much over 30 frames per second all the time, with some drops every now and then when there are many dynamic shadows or particles. And then on 720p, in order to get 60-ish frames per second, I just use medium, and that was enough to be at 60 frames per second pretty much all the time. And then again, when I crank up the settings, I select ultra, and we are over 30 frames per second just fine. And finally at 1440p, in order to stay over 30 frames per second, I just use low settings, and that's pretty much what I tested here. This game is capped at 60 frames per second. If you disable the cap, you have to disable the frame rate cap and the force p-sync, and it also messes with my settings. I recommend just playing at cap 60 frames per second, the game runs just fine. But yeah guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you keep enjoying the video, thanks for watching and see you next time.